thank you very much for attending our first event, and hopefully we'll be doing more. I was thinking of like shows of hands and things in terms of how many people were leaving thinking that crowd, in whatever form you think is relevant for your business, is something that you're going to go away and something you're going to go away and think about. And there were some really interesting sort of snippets that came out during the course of the day. This is just a very small sample of them. There were many interesting things to say. I thought that Lego, they spoke about how they already had high brand affinity. So if you've got that type of affinity already as an organization, or you're able to create that, converting that brand equity and that social capital, that brand capital into activity through community-based platforms and engagements, very, very significant. I thought there was a great comment, slow down innovation by increasing your relative speed. That was one of my favorites during the course of today as well. So, and then another one that stood out was, so much resistance in an enterprise, even if it makes sense. I mean, obviously, models of this nature, they take a little while for people to sort of to get. And I think, obviously, one of the advantages and benefits we hope of seeing it in this context is that it might move the thinking a little quicker. And then the other thing is, apparently Google are building a database of everything. Did you really say that? I mean, that sounds like a pretty complex project, but I like the fact that it's only possible through crowdsourcing. It sounds impossible to me, but it's only possible through crowdsourcing. And then one other, we give you a return on investment and a return on involvement. I think that came out of Joseph or someone. So just real quick, some of the things that you might want to think about as you move forward here, and people, I don't necessarily do a good job of talking about what we actually do, and people say, well, it was a great event, but how do you guys earn your money? When you move forward with this, I think there's sort of four main things you need to think about in terms of how to move forward. I mean, the first is obviously what type of work is suitable for crowdsourcing. Somebody asked the question up there. There's a whole range of possibilities. First thing you need to do is obviously understand the priorities. Is it about customers? Is it about engagement? Is it about data? So there's a set of business requirements, and you have to match those to the suitability of use cases. So that's the first aspect of it. The second thing is, in my discussion yesterday, I spoke about the different ways you can engage with the crowd, and there are four fundamental ways. You can post work, or you can find workers. That's one way. A second way is you can use the crowd, as in Maya's example, to find and organize work. A third example is you can go out and we take people through. We've done work for the likes of Genpact, who very kindly said I could make reference. A lot of the work we do we can't talk about because a lot of people either don't want to tell people they're trying out this crazy crowd stuff, or they're, so a lot of it is quite confidential. But we worked with Genpact for over a year. So from the perspective of a large enterprise and a large service provider trying to understand how this changes their model, I'm also pleased that Mr. Aslan and Mr. Darzi from Malaysia have very kindly confirmed yesterday that we've been hired to develop a crowdsourcing strategy at a national level for Mexico. So we'll be working over hopefully a number of years there to basically design and then accelerate the development of the marketplace in Malaysia. I said Mexico, I'm sorry, in Malaysia. And the reason I said Mexico is we're also working for the... I was going to leave it at 2, but that slipper like that. So we're working for Mexico as well, actually developing crowdfunding at a national level. So it's very interesting seeing the enterprises and the government starting to see this as an ability to create digital marketplaces and to use crowdsourcing not only as a way of helping small businesses and things, but getting people online and creating income and increasing the value of labor for people. The slides from the sessions, I think there's a couple of slides that we'll pull out, but the majority of the slides, all the ones that we can share, will be on Crowdsourcing.org, so we'll let you know when they're available for download. The individual sessions are going to be produced, so you can go and on demand get access to those as well, and I guarantee that they will be void of any technical mess-ups. That's the beauty of post-production. So yourselves or your colleagues can watch these sessions at a later date. So just to wrap up, I thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for our sponsors, who obviously made this possible and allowed us to get so many people in the room. Thank you very much for my team, and look forward to having a chat with you and having some drinks in the other room.